Welcome to the Album Exchange with Teams podcast run by Fezzicus and Tomas, podcast for listening through Earbuds. And I'm Thomas. And
Yeah!
And you're...
Hi, I'm Fezzicus.
He is the famous YouTuber Fezzicus, whose channel got ruined by his Minutemen video.
Yeah, I fucking hate the Minutemen. It's such a dog shit band.
Yeah, but
I only did that video for the views. I was only in it for the money.
What money?
Exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, this album... Fuck!
Yeah, please take your time.
This podcast... on this podcast we're gonna tackle 4 albums with a team every time we record, because we're not doing this weekly probably. Or maybe we are, I don't know.
We're gonna do it every like 7 months. It's gonna be like a Adult Swim show. Like, it just takes like way too long for every season to be made. For good reason.
If there's ever gonna be another episode,
There won't.
There will. I'll force you.
Oh, okay.
You like that?
Mm.
This is the worst podcast you're gonna listen to all year. So,
yeah, you're gonna wish you were dead by this point.
you should probably just check out my other podcast, Adult Teams for Voices, where we tackle every Mike Patton album. But yeah!
And you should also check out my podcast. I don't have a podcast, because I'm yeah.
I like podcasts because I can rant about bullshit like for ages.
Yeah, and like fucking random people are gonna be like,
I agree with that guy. He is so correct, so right.
And then like a Swans fan walks in. I don't agree with that guy.
This guy sucks. I'm gonna give him a 2.5 stars on Rate Your Music.
And then Anthony Fantano reacts to the entire podcast.
it gives it like a strong to light 7.
And what's that like gay alter ego he has, like Cello Festa or something?
I don't fucking know.
Then that fucker walks in and goes, "Oh, this podcast is good." But yeah, the theme of this episode is my favorite subject: death, dying,
Yeah.
going to heaven.
You know, there's this
Or
one
hell.
song by The Sounds of Liberty called Code Blue, which I think you may have heard of already.
I don't know.
Went by
Tell me about it.
It was a pretty cool song about girls not liking you, so you go to the local morgue and take out a couple dead bodies. That's my dog barking in the background. Please ignore that. Take
We
out a
can't
couple
hear
dead
it.
bodies and fuck the dead. I wanna
that's
fuck.
awesome.
I wanna fuck the dead.
The Grateful Dead. I want to fuck Jerry Garcia in his bottle. This is still the worst podcast you've ever listened to. Presented by me and Fezzicus.
And it's still better than the Joe Rogan Experience.
Yeah, because that shit's like 5 hours long. I don't
5
get
hours
how
of Joe Rogan talking about doing DMT.
I don't get like the hardcore Joe Rogan fans who listen to every podcast, because he releases like 5 a week. And
yeah, my dad used to be like a really big fan of Joe Rogan, and he like, like when he watched the fucking Weird Al video of him just like absolutely berating him, he was like, "Man, this guy may not be the best man in the world. He might be some alt-right masculinity obsessed little piece of shit."
Yeah, but like there are hardcore Joe Rogan fans who listen to every podcast he puts out, even if it's like with some unknown British cunt.
Yeah, but, like they pretend they know him and like love him after that episode.
Yeah. The only interesting episodes are like with musicians I like, or whenever Alex Jones comes on and rants about bullshit. Those are fucking great. I don't know why he hasn't been on the podcast for like 5 years. I miss this motherfucker.
I was watching this one show called The Midnight Gospel a while ago. It's pretty good. It's pretty epic.
What's it about?
No, it's about a guy who runs a podcast through like space and shit, and like you know, talk about like existential crises or whatever type of bullshit they were talking about.
You mean Space Ghost?
No, not Space Ghost. That's a completely different thing. Actually, no, it's not really all that different. It's still completely different. I had this one like pink guy who I may or may not have looked at a ton of porn of.
That's awesome. I think we should get into the podcast, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe
and
not.
like maybe not get banned already.
Yeah. What album do you want to start with?
I don't fucking know.
Let's keep the saddest one for second.
Yeah,
It makes sense.
Yeah, let's do the worst first. The worst first. Dispersed. Your mother sex with your mother. Earth.
Yeah.
Mother
Well,
Earth.
we're talking about 4 albums today. They're called Pornography by The Cure, You Want It Darker by Leonard Cohen, Ghosting by Nick Cave, and The Bad Seeds, and Sadness Will Prevail by Today Is The Day. This is not funny. What the fuck are you doing, dude?
Sorry, I just thought like the fucking, you know, the pronunciation of it all was pretty comedic.
Oh, shut up. Oh, shut
No,
up.
fuck you, you little piece of shit. You know, this is... You know, you had to tag me along on this shit. I did not want to do none of this shit. I ain't done... I ain't do none of this.
The only reason why we're doing this podcast is because I got bored and I wanted to make a podcast. So the only guy I know that's not like an annoying piece of shit in real life who's into music is Fezzicus. And he doesn't circle jerk the same 5 bands. He actually listens to other stuff. So this might have been the right guy to talk with.
Oh, wait, what was that?
What album do you want to start with?
Oh, God fucking damn it. Shit, little fucking bastard. Alright, what'd you say again?
What album did you want to start with?
I don't know, probably... the one that lasted way too long. Fucking... I already forgot the name. Wait. Sadness Will Prevail by Today's the Day.
Let's talk about Sadness Will Prevail by Today Is the Day. A way too long album that clocks in 2 fucking hours and 20 minutes. 24
Yeah,
minutes.
You're gonna need some big boy pants for this album.
This album sucks. I like the theme of this is death, and I didn't get the theme of death in this one because it was like too long. I think you should carry this one.
Yeah, okay, so basically, where I got like the theme of death from is just like, it's not inherently about death. It's about like sadness, which in like depression, which death is a part of that, and like, you know,
It's the conclusion of all of that.
yeah.
You'll end up killing yourself.
But like, there are like a ton of songs that like have like mentions of death as a theme. Like, let me hold on. I accidentally played that song. Whoops. Let me turn that shit off.
He wrote an entire list of notes about this album, and I didn't write any notes on any of the albums. I'm just gonna freestyle this shit.
Yeah, he has memory. I'm a porn addict. My memory is about as good as it's.
Hey,
not.
I'm a hardcore porn addict, and my memory is awesome.
Oh, I don't know what the fuck shit you're into then.
I don't want to know, buddy.
What, you into vanilla? You do it like once a week. You just do it like a fucking compliment to yourself.
I've been a good boy this week. I'm gonna watch some porn.
It's like a little reward for yourself.
I'm gonna jerk off to all this hardcore pornography.
All the fat women. With all the obese women.
All the fatty fat women.
The obese transgender women with big dicks.
Yeah, brother.
But like, where was I going? Oh yeah, so basically, like, the first lyric on the album is "Love equals death equals pain." Yeah, I think that's related to death. I don't know about you, but you know.
That sounds like you can interpret that in a lot of ways.
Yeah, but like, so you can do that with like the rest of the albums on here. Like, two of them are sure, some of them are like obviously about death, but like, you know, some of them, you know, they
Yeah, I
need to
know
be
what you mean.
interpreted. But like, then there's like,
You're not a good narrator
I'm
without a
not.
script.
I'm really not. I'm sorry. What should we talk about now about this album? Because like,
Well,
I don't.
I want to talk about this album. This album is way too long, and I don't know why Fezzicus recommended it to me.
Because I thought it was fucking A. I thought it was related to death, and B. It's funny as shit to recommend a 2.5 hour album to someone.
You should what's the album? Mel Circle Jerks.
Fucking soundtracks for the blind.
No,
like,
not that one. The Snow Steppers or something, or.
To Be Kind.
No, not the Swans. You fucking moron.
I swear to God, you said the Swans.
No. Yeah, I said the Swans. I said the Swans record.
Yeah,
I said wait. I said the Boots Snow Strippers or something. I forgot. Like the 7-hour long album he keeps talking about.
Yeah, that album.
I don't want to talk about this album. This album sucked.
Yeah, there's fucking dog shit albums 0 out of 10.
Yeah, let's move on to an actual album about death.
Hooray!
Let's talk about "You Want It Darker" by Leonard Cohen. Well,
yeah.
I have a lot to say about this album. I'm not. I have to admit, I'm not a huge Leonard Cohen fanatic. I like the stuff that I've heard. I've never done a Discog dive into this. Who pinged me?
Yeah, let me go Do Not Disturb.
Yeah. But yeah, back to what I was saying. I like the songs that I know, and I like his first album that I listened to. But then I think it was 1 a.m. on the Thursday night. I was supposed to go to school, but I probably didn't. I heard "You Want It Darker," like the title track from the song, and it gave me goosebumps. And I think I waited a year. I think I waited a year, and then I was in a record store in my city, and then I saw this album on CD, and I thought, fuck it, I'll buy it. And I popped it into my CD player, and it's fucking beautiful.
Yeah, the album is just absolutely just fucking incredible. It is otherworldly. I haven't heard anything like it before.
First of all, this album was recorded while he was dying. He didn't talk about it in the press conferences he did about the album, but when you read the lyrics in retrospect, you can see that it was about him getting older, dying, getting more in touch with religion near the end of his life, his Jewish faith. And what's amazing is that he still had this amazing, beautiful voice. I don't know if you've heard other Leonard Cohen songs.
Yeah, this is the only album that I've heard from Leonard Cohen, vividly that I remember. But he's got a fucking gorgeous voice. It is.
I don't know if
beautiful.
You know the song. What's it called? Hallelujah. That's one of his songs.
Really, he did Hallelujah?
Yeah, that's his song.
Shit.
And
that was some 12th century fucking ancient song that we've been just covering for the past 5,000
No, he wrote that
years.
song. He's an amazing poet, and that's you can also when you're reading the lyrics of this album, especially on the Treaty, it's beautiful because it's clearly about a love relationship with death. I think it's just an album accepting is dead, and that's beautiful, I think.
Yeah, it's just absolutely yeah, it's just beautiful. His songwriting was amazing. The themes. Hold on, let me fucking remember what the hell I was trying to say here. I'm sorry, I sometimes I have an idea what I'm gonna say in the middle of saying it. I forget immediately, but
that's
but on the songs, it's some of the songs fucking Leaving the Table. It was about fighting a fight that needed not fighting. I guess you could say.
Yeah.
which could represent like sort of like a regret in life that you would have to keep with you until you die, and like accepting like, and then once you're like sort of accepting your death, like starting to die, it's like sure that happened, but it happened, and without it happening, like nothing incredible would have happened that would have happened in the future, I guess you could say.
Yeah, like the story of this album is like he went on a bunch of tours between like 2008 and 2013, and then his like health started deteriorating really quickly, and he wanted to record one more album, so all of the vocals are recorded in his living room in his house.
Wait,
And
really?
all,
I didn't know that.
yeah,
Holy shit.
and like all the music was made in like different studios and stuff, and he sent all the files over with. Yeah, here I'm reading. After touring extensively between 2008 and 2013, Leonard Cohen began to suffer multiple fractures of the spine, among other physical problems, according to his son. Due to Leonard Cohen's mobility issues, You Want It Darker was recorded in the living room of his house. That's insane.
That's really fucking cool.
Yeah, and to go back to like the lyrical themes of this album, it's just him accepting the fact that he's gonna die, and he still has this beautiful voice. It's raw. It's like what Tom Waits is trying to do with all the smoking. So someone
Tom
messaged
Waits,
me.
but good.
My friend said help, and I'm scared that something is gonna happen. Oh no, never mind. It's not
I'll
interesting.
let them die.
It's not interesting. But yeah, and the music itself, it's minimalistic, but also not. It's like, I don't want to call it minimalistic, but it
I
kind of
wouldn't
is.
say it's minimalistic. More so, like it shows signs of minimalism, but like it's still very like complex in its execution. Like it's not like progressive rock, but it's still very like complex.
Yeah. Another album like this is like, I didn't pick this one for like obvious reasons, but that's Black Star by David Bowie, which was also recorded when Bowie had his cancer diagnosis. If you all remember that stuff going down, and then he died 2 days later after releasing the album. I think Leonard died 2 weeks after recording the album.
I thought it was a month later. You could be right though.
17 days before Cohen's death. Yeah, I'm reading off Wikipedia because I'm bored.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
Neither of us can like do like fucking live commentary well, or at least
I
can.
can.
You can do it pretty well. You're pretty good at it.
Yeah, but my favorite track, my favorite tracks on this album are like "You Want It Darker," "3D," and "Leaving the Table" is also a beautiful song with like those amazing lyrics that he's known for. So
yeah, yeah, like my like the standouts for me as well are like the title track and like basically all the tracks that you just mentioned, Treaty, Leaving the Table. I thought Steer Your Way was also really good. Yeah, I kind of just thought the entire album was just beautiful. It was absolutely incredible.
Yeah, I have listened to it multiple times in the like past 6 months because that's when I bought the CD, and it's like one of my favorite albums. And I don't even like I haven't listened to like his whole discography or something. I've listened to his first album. I listened to some tracks of the one with Hallelujah and Dance Me to the End of Love, but I need to get into this guy because I like his poetry.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna get into this guy as well, but then proceed to forget to listen to like any of his albums.
Yeah, like usually.
Yeah, actually, I got a little list of like 70 albums that I intend to listen to. I'll just put them in there.
Oh, send them over. Can you send that list to me?
Yeah,
Because
sure.
maybe. Yeah. I don't. I just listen to whatever I feel like. But yeah.
It's just a
when
text file. Like,
you see with a lot of albums that are released before like the artist's dies are like highly praised, and then the album itself is shite. But this is like an album that the critics praised, everyone praised it, and it's actually a good album, and I recommend it. It's not really depressing about that. It's more like a comforting album about that.
Yeah, it's like showing that like death isn't really like a bad thing. You're gonna have to face it, and it's like, and it's not gonna like, it's not entirely a bad thing. I guess you could say. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I think we've said enough about this album. Or do you want to talk more?
Well, you said everything that I would have said, so
Yeah.
yeah.
It got the title track got a Grammy nomination, so that's awesome and cool.
Pretty epic, pretty gnarly.
Pretty cool.
Pretty epic! Tubular!
It's totally tubular, dude.
How fantabulous.
And yeah. Let's move on to the next album. Pornography by The Cure.
I love porn!
You should start this one off.
Yeah, okay, alright, I'll try my best here. Okay, so, Pornography, it has a little bit of a backstory to it, and so basically, fucking Robert Smith was going through like a deep depression in his life, you know.
Now
doing
explain
lots
to the folks at home who Robert Smith is.
Right, okay, so for those who have been living under a rock and haven't watched that one South Park episode, Robert Smith is the guitarist, and I think he's the guitarist and vocalist of The Cure. I say I think he's the guitarist because I actually
He is the guitarist.
Okay, yeah, I just want to make sure. And he's like some depressed goth guy. He's front man of The Cure, and he says, yeah.
Yeah, go on, fucker.
And for Pornography, Robert Smith was sort of in like a pick your poison state. It was because he was like in a very deep depression, doing lots of drugs and alcohol and shit. And so it was a state of write a bunch of songs about your depression or kill yourself. Guess which one he took?
He killed himself.
Oh, absolutely no. He made Pornography.
Oh,
and
he made Pornography. He became a porn star.
Yeah.
Yeah, he started his
Yeah,
long-lasting porn career.
Playgirl magazines.
Yeah.
But like the album, because of his state in life, it was a very raw, very stream of consciousness, like very. It was a very genuine album of like pure dread, like the dread that he was feeling in his life at that point. Like, there is nothing fun about this album. There's no happiness, no like comedic relief, no nothing. This album is just about like drugs and death and fucking being scarred about sex and hate and purity of animals fucking, apparently.
Yeah, it has some mentions of animals fucking, apparently. I didn't really get into the lyrics.
Yeah, when I was like reading the lyrics for The Hanging Garden, The Hanging Garden, and like I was like, what the fuck is he talking about? I looked it up, and I got quotes of him saying, yeah, The Hanging Garden's basically about hate and purity, animals fucking. Alright!
Well, I have something to say about The Cure and this album. I'll have to admit, I'm not a big Cure fan. I think their music sounds
bastard!
empty. I think their music sounds empty, like all the time. I've talked about this with Fezzicus before we started recording, but it just felt like really empty.
Yeah,
I've tried to listen to like the one what's it called, like a forest or something. I forgot their album names. But I tried to listen to it, and it's always like something is missing, and that's why I like Killing Joke more, because in Killing Joke it's like a full picture. I think that's the best goth rock
Killing
band.
Joke is actually complete.
It's actually complete, and they're good musicians.
Yeah, they're actually a good band, unlike The Cure, which are poopy and smelly and dog water and bad and not Skibbity Ohio Riz or whatever.
Yeah, but I listened to this album like when I was having a really happy day, I was listening to a lot of depressing shit that day for some reason.
It just fucking ruins your day.
Yeah, it fucking ruined my whole life.
You have like the best day of your life, and then immediately people notice that you're just hanging yourself.
But I listened to this album, and this is what a Cure album should have. All the Cure albums should have sounded like this dark, depressing music, this full picture. It just sounds like this album sounds complete. There's enough reverb. There's like weird delays on the guitar and like
Dude,
all
that bass tone is like legendary.
The bass tone is amazing. That's why.
Dude, you can tell where Peter Steele really got his bass tone from.
Yeah.
It's fucking like that bass tone is perfect. Like it's up there.
Yeah, and I loved this album. I liked the depressing lyrics, especially on like the first track that I've been listening to for like 5 years or something. Like what's it called?
100 years. Yeah.
Yeah, 100 years is like one of the most beautiful songs I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's one hell of a way to open up one of the greatest goth rock albums ever.
It's a great opener. It's like a beautiful. It's the perfect opener, I think, for like.
Yeah, like when I first heard it, it like completely shocked me that like the album would open up with something that good. Like it was just amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but yeah, back to the Cure. Also, fun fact about the Cure. You know, like the song "Close to Me" by them, right?
I think so.
I always thought it was like an indie pop song from like 2012, 2013. And then like I recently found out it's a Cure song from 1985. So that's really funny.
Yeah, the Cure like showed up in my life like way late to the party. Like I never knew about them for like most of my life because like my radio stations wouldn't play them. My parents, why the fuck would they listen to the Cure? They listen to like Primus and goddamn. Whatever the hell my dad listens to.
They listen to Primus.
My dad does. I don't know about my mom, but my dad fucking loves Primus.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, he got me into a lot of music. He doesn't like Faith No More though, which is a little
How? Yeah, my dad. My dad loves Faith No More.
I think my dad just doesn't like Patton's voice.
Mine does.
Like I love Patton's voice personally. Like he's got like a fucking amazing voice. Like objectively, it's great. It's awesome. But like I don't know, maybe my dad doesn't like it when he's like fucking doing that weirdo like sort of whiny shit you would probably hear, and like that weird shit he was doing in fucking the first Faith No More album he was on. What was it called?
Where he sounded like SpongeBob. Yeah, he sounded like it's the real thing.
You want me now, but you can't have it.
He just sounds like fucking SpongeBob.
Yeah.
It's on the same level as like that one guy from Overkill sounding like Elmo.
Overkill sucks, dude.
I like Overkill. They're just fucking boring. They're bland. Just like a lot of thrash metal.
I don't like a lot of thrash metal. I'm not that big of a metalhead anymore, so.
Yeah, I used to be like a ginormous thrash fan, and then like when I got into like punk and the Minutemen and like.
And then you realize that punk is way better than like the shitty thrash metal.
Yeah, thrash metal is just like punk without like the creativity.
Yeah.
There's a lot of creativity in some of it, Voivod, Coroner, whatever the fuck you pronounce it.
My favorite one is Carnivore. That's my favorite thrash metal band.
Oh, I love Carnivore! That band's so fucking good.
I especially like Retaliation, like the second album. I think that's their best. That's a masterpiece.
I think both of their albums just like are tied in my heart. They're just holy fucking shit. They're both so good.
Now that I think about it, I should have picked World Coming Down by Type O Negative. That's a good album about that.
Yeah, what the fuck? How did we not think of that one?
Yeah, and I'm like a huge Typo fan.
Yeah, it's like we... like, World Coming Down. It's like entire family was like dying and like making
well,
that
let's talk about the World Coming Down right now.
Yeah, fuck it, bonus album.
Bonus album. Honorable mention. That should have been
Yeah, this is Watch Mojo. This is our honorable mention.
This should have been instead of that fucking Sentence Will Prevail album.
Yeah, like what the fuck?
Yeah. Well, let's talk about World Coming Down by Type of Negative. This was right after...
it's about fucking death. That's all you can really say.
It's all about death. His whole family was dying, including his aunt, his mom, his dad. Everyone, like, was fucking dying.
Yeah, and like most of the songs are like about like, you know, everyone I love is dead.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me? That song is amazing too.
Everything dies.
Yeah, everything dies. World coming down.
And then
there's like the interludes with like lung, liver, sinus. You know, like about like people dying from like lung cancer, sinus cancer, and liver cancer.
Yeah. And then you have a song about like this girl who's a pyromaniac.
Yeah, like it's...
You'll be the first, you'll be the last. Oh, you Parata place.
It's the perfect like gothy doom metal album in my eyes.
Yeah.
Like I love, like, I think Bloody Kisses and October Rust are my favorite albums from them. Their best album is World Coming Down, like objectively.
Objectively, World Coming Down, but my favorite is Bloody Kisses. No, not Bloody Kisses. October Rust. October Rust is better.
Yeah, I think both of them are like they're equals. That they are both like phenomenal in my eyes.
I think Type of Negative were still figuring out like the goth sound on the Bloody Kisses record, and then when they came around to recording October Rust, then they figured out like the whole parody gothic sound that they were doing. Because surprise, it's a joke. They're not real goths.
Yeah, one of them's just a tall fucking 6'9"
the
teddy
man.
bear who who just looks gothy.
Yeah, and like when you listen to what's this Black Number One, they're making fun of the whole goth culture. So
yeah, and like it turned out to be like the best goth like song ever, like one of the best at least.
I fucking love Type of Negative.
That's so fucking funny.
Yeah, that's why I love Carnivore too. Just because like
my buddy. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go on.
Oh, okay. My buddy found the origin of the feces in a record shop. With the original cover, asshole.
Oh, me too. I found it on vinyl.
Yeah, and like he was like just getting to Type O Negative at that point, and I told him like, hey, you should listen to Type O. You might like him. He loved them. That was like his entire personality for like a year and a half. But like he found the origin of the feces when he first was getting into them, and he was like, hey, look at what I found. And I told him, wow, that's a nice asshole you sent me. Because he had no idea it was an asshole. Because the stick, that sticker that covers the asshole,
yeah.
Like, it was like a scratch and sniff.
Oh, it didn't cover the one I found. I still regret I didn't buy it.
Oh, that sucks.
Because my dad loves that stuff. He's also my mom, my dad are both big Type of Negative fans.
I think he did buy the album though at one point, like a month later, and then he accidentally lost it behind his like dresser that was like stapled into his wall. So
no.
Yeah. He got it back though. I think he still listens to Type O. I don't know though. He might be listening to like Tool again, or he was a really big fan of like Tool and Maynard's stuff or whatever the hell his name was.
Maynard's other stuff sucks.
Oh my god, yeah, I don't like any of it.
Yeah, but let's go back to the album really quickly.
Yeah. What are we talking about again?
World Coming Down.
Oh yeah, the Funny Death album. Yeah, that album's about death.
It's like the first album, like all the albums before that album, all were like ironic. Just the first two albums were like definitely still Carnivore type music.
Yeah, they were just like Carnivore, but like with a little bit of like a little bit more like Black Sabbath and Cure influence.
Yeah, and then they made this album.
Yeah, tonally, this is like completely different.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing tongue-in-cheek, nothing dry, like no dry humor here. This is all, everyone he loved really is dead.
Yeah, and it isn't even it is. it isn't even like funny cheesy like October Rush with my girlfriend's girlfriend with a cheesy organ in the beginning, or like all that stuff. It's just sad. It just depresses me, and that's why it's my second favorite.
Yeah, it's so fucking good though. It is.
If it wasn't for 10-year-old me listening to Bloody Kisses a lot, no, fuck, I keep confusing those albums. If it wasn't for 10-year-old me listening to October Rust on repeat all the time, this would have been probably my favorite. Yeah, and that's why I'm so depressed. Like 6 years later.
Yeah, this is why Tomas has like chronic fucking depression, and like every day on Twitter he posts his self-harm scars.
I
saw this one tweet the other day of like, you know those like little marks on your arm you get when you're like really comfortable sleeping and they look like self-harm scars, and like there's this one tweet I saw, I think I bookmarked it because I thought it was really funny. It was like, don't do it for us or something. Please stop. Fuck, where are my bookmarks? There they are. Yep, there it is. Let me send this to you. This is just fucking awesome. This is so funny, so comedic. Too bad it's on Twitter.
That's hilarious.
World's funniest tweet on Twitter. One of the first funny tweets on Twitter. The first of the first.
Yeah, but let's move on to the last album, which is probably the most depressing one on this list.
Oh my god, yeah.
I'll introduce it. It's Ghosted by Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. Little background. Nick Cave's 15-year-old son died. That's all you have to know going into this album.
Yeah,
like there was an album before this, Skeleton Tree, which had some influences of like, oh, my son just died, but it was written before that happened. So you can kind of feel that like mood on that one, but this one goes full out.
This is like the most depressing album like I think anyone will ever listen to. Yeah.
You can make any depressive, suicidal black metal albums, but they're not as depressing as this because it's about your 15-year-old son dying.
Yeah, you can make your shitty emo-core, fucking metalcore band about, like, mommy and daddy not letting you wear what you want, or, like, your girlfriend breaking up with you, and you're so sad.
Even though you've dated with them for, like, 2 weeks.
Yeah, and, like, you're, like, 14 years old, but, like, this is the most, like, this album will, like, put you on fucking tears.
Yeah.
This album is devastating, like, emotionally.
The first time I listened to this, it wasn't like it made me depressed because I didn't listen to the lyrics, but just the whole ambient pop vibe on this album. It just started to depress me more and more and more, and it was beautiful, but yeah.
But then the lyrics, once you read them, they are the most like depressing things that you will ever read. But also some of the most like beautiful poetry, like ever. It is.
I almost cried listening to this. Then I read the lyrics, and I almost cried listening to like reading the lyrics. It's just. I would say it's one of a kind, and like, this album was like way different than what I expected from Nick Cave. Like, I'm a huge fan of the Birthday Party, which was Nick Cave's previous band, who are like, of course you are fucking hipster.
Yeah, but like they're like a really fucking crazy like post-punk band, and then like I heard, oh, Nick Cave had another band called Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, so I listened to like From Her to Eternity, and I thought, wow, this is really cool. It's like I know how to explain it. It's like if the Cure and the Birthday Party had sex, with like fucking Hate or whatever that song was about again, but like then I heard Ghosteen, and it was like just so different, and so I'd say it's like better than anything they ever did like early on. It
Yeah.
is just beautiful. Like I think my favorite track on the album is the title track, which is about like the which disc 2 as a whole was about like the parents, like sort of like I don't know how to word it.
Dealing, grieving.
Yeah, grieving over the death of a child. And like I just thought Ghost Teen, it's 12 minutes, but it never gets boring. It's done so well. And like the entire album, I think, I don't know, the entire album is just fucking phenomenal, and I love every minute of it.
Yeah, and I'm a little bit more familiar with Nick Cave because my mom is a depressed music fan. So I grew up with the Boatman's Call that was on sometimes, and Murder Ballads, which is not really depressing, but I knew what I was getting into. And I've been like a Nick Cave fan for a while, and I'm hoping to see him in September on the European tour. And I thought, oh, the song is about the son dying. I'm gonna check it out, and then I just got depressed.
You could be having the best day of your life, and then once you put this album on,
it's ruined.
Boy, you got the noose around your neck already.
But it's beautiful. That's the whole thing. It's
Like,
comforting, but sad. It's like a weird combination of those things.
It's melancholic, I guess you could say.
Yeah. And just reading through the lyrics, there's a song about like the conception of that child, and there's a song about him dying. And my favorite track on this is the last track, Hollywood, which has the whole the Buddha story about the Kisa. Did you read that?
I didn't read like the Buddhist story, but I did like read like a lot of the lyrics. And
Yeah, I mean
Hollywood,
that lyrics.
It was just some of the best like poetry ever written. Like, this is more than songwriting. This is more than poetry. This is something unique. This is just pure emotion, just being shown through an art form, and it's beautifully done.
Exactly, and like the whole story about Kisa and Buddha is like Kisa can't save her baby in any way. It's just like Nick Cave couldn't save his son because it was an accident. Arthur Cave was tripping on LSD, and then he fell off a cliff. He couldn't have prevented it, and that just hurts as a parent, as a father. It just feels like you failed. Because it's your son, you should have prevented him, you should have protected him, but it didn't work, and he died. And that's just heartbreaking, and that's also like what the story is about. It's like, I can't save my child. I couldn't have protected my child, and that's yeah. And the weirdest thing to me is that we're both 15. We're both the same age as the.
Yeah, purity's making us really, really sad, and
yeah.
And like we think, when you're 15, you think you've been in the world for a very long time.
Oh, I haven't.
Hell the fuck no, you haven't. 15 years is nothing. That is like, if you take into perspective, a 15-year-old boy who died, and like, if you were the parent of that 15-year-old boy, you would, like, it's just way too soon. Like, it's just...
He hasn't experienced anything about the world, the beautiful things about the world yet. Sure, he has some, like, maybe seen some cities, some places, made some friends, but you haven't experienced life, and I still haven't, of course. But
life, like, it takes your whole life to experience life as it's fully, like, as its entirety, and if it just sort of gets cut off, you'll never experience life in its fullest, and like it's just
Maybe it's a bad thing to say, and I don't mean to hurt anyone, but this album made me appreciate my life a little bit more, because I'm the same age as this kid who died, and it just made me realize that I have a whole life ahead of me, and I can do anything I want.
yeah. And like even if like you may not have like maybe you aren't going to like university and getting like a fucking PhD in like medical science, you can maybe you like just went to a shitty college or dropped out of high school, you can still have a great life. You can there's still a life ahead of you. There is still something to look forward for. Like maybe not if you dropped out of high school, because like that's you cannot pull that off anymore, I don't think, but still, like, you get what I mean.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the... It was a fucking depressing album. And there was like... I forgot which song it was, let me just... It was Ghosteen Speaks, and Ghosteen is like the insert of Arthur. And the lyrics on that song are, I am beside you, I am beside you. Look for me, I am beside you. I try to forget to remember that nothing is something, where something is meant to be. I am beside you. And that just, that's gut-wrenching reading that. It's just...
Yeah, it is just beautiful. It's so, like, it's just so heartbreaking reading that. It's so beautiful, and holy shit, my vocabulary is not enough to explain how beautiful but also like sad this album is.
It's not my favorite Nick Cave album. I think Aperture Blues is my favorite, but this is probably in my top 3, just because of the sadness.
I've only listened to like 2 or 3 Nick Cave albums.
Oh.
This one's by far is on fucking top. It is like my favorite out of all of them.
I think we've said enough about this. I want to say one more thing, and that is... Nick Cave has to be one of the toughest men artists alive.
Oh my god, yeah, for sure.
Because one of his other sons also died 2 years ago. His son Jethro. And it's like 2 sons dying. 2 of your like creations, your children dying.
Yeah, and like to see him still like, I don't know how to word it without sounding like a piece of shit.
No, don't go ahead, man.
To see him still going and like trying to sort of how do I word it? Or like he's still going and keeping what he lost sort of like, I guess, in memory, and like doing like he's doing, I guess you could say like he's doing like everything he's doing now is for them, I guess.
Yeah, I can
like
see
he's a very strong man, and like, you know, that's something you can't say for most people, because like, you know, if they ever, like, you know, let's take old like Billy Bob, you know, 45, had a couple of kids, like one of his sons died, he would probably go under a mental crisis.
Yeah.
And, like, never be the same again. Nick Cave, he's just one of the probably the strongest man alive. He like lost something he absolutely loved and didn't sort of like, he didn't like lose himself. He's still in like, I think I'm sort of losing what I'm trying to figure out what the hell I'm trying to say.
I think we get it.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Also, I forgot to mention, but it's like, well, I think before or while recording the album, the keyboard player who had been in the band since 1990 also died. So it's like two people that you hold very dear dying. And that's just hard.
Heartbreaking.
But yeah, let's wrap it up.
Yeah! You know,
I don't know if there's ever going to be an episode 2. I think the podcast will better.
yeah, the podcast is probably going to be either way better or way worse, because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Thomas, he probably knows what he's doing. I don't.
I know what I'm doing. I can host. I'm a great public speaker. So...
Yeah, I have panic attacks when I'm talking one-to-one with a kid I've known for like 7 years at this point.
I talk to random people on the street, like a normal person.
They run away.
They run away.
You do it with pride.
Because there are stink lines coming off me, like those green comic stink lines.
There's like that one video of the fucking black guy walking through the street killing like trees and shit because he smells like shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I think all of those albums except the fucking Sadness Will Prevail album are absolutely beautiful.
They're all masterpieces.
Maybe we should tackle a happy topic, like maybe the next episode we should...
Like sex!
The most sexy sex album, sexy sex, fucking sex albums made by two virgins.
Yeah, and like the first sex album, Atomizer by Big Black. Why? Has nothing to do with sex. First track, Child Sex Ring. Fuck it.
That's why I love Big Black, because they're like, all the lyrics are so fucked up.
Yeah,
Wasn't there a song about a dog that was trained to attack black people?
Really?
I think...
I don't remember that one.
Steve Albini, he's crazy, he's cray-cray, and if you want to learn more about him, maybe in 1 or 2 weeks, head over to Fezzicus channel.
Yeah, and maybe, you know, I'm working on an Albini video. Is it gonna finish? I don't fucking know.
I don't know fucking know. You sound like Norm. You sound like Norm Macdonald there. Oh, I don't fucking know. I fucking love Norm.
Rabble.
I love Norm Macdonald so much. But yeah, let's tackle happy albums next episodes.
Yeah, about like, you know,
being happy.
Yeah.
And being happy.
Fuck bitches, get money.
I want to hug a little girl. Oh. And on that note, this was what's the longest name again?
The podcast with the longest name ever, the Album Exchange with Themes, podcast run by Fezzicus and Tomas, podcast for listening through earbuds, trademark.
Presented by Fezzicus and Tomas. Tune in next...
Presented and published by Fezzicus and Tomas, podcast for listening through earbuds, trademark. Patent pending.
Well, tune in next time if there's ever going to be a next time for the next episode.
Tune in last time.
Well, bye.
Bye.